What's the optimistic case?
Abundance. No shortage of goods and services for anyone on Earth. There's sort of 10-20% probability of something terrible happening.
So 10 to 20 probability of what happening?
Something terrible.
Which is like, what? How bad is something terrible?
Like
extinction.
All right, folks, welcome back to PrepperNow. Yes, seems that your prepping might be taking a new bit of a turn. There's a lot of talk out there about annihilation, and not from the usual sources. Of course, you've always got the issues with war and conflict and food and all of that. But now we're getting some warnings from people about a threat that is, really becoming more and more ubiquitous. It's all over the place. And that threat, of course, is AI. Now, AI, of course, now I think is just more of a supplemental thing. You take it, you find information, and you use it from there. But what these guys are talking about is the fact that AI might have an existential threat to humanity. Now, what that looks like, I don't know. You can use your imagination. But there's Elon Musk coming out and saying this. There's Paul Tudor Jones, who's a big investor guy. He's not a big doomer, but even he says there's a 50% chance that AI is going to wipe out humanity. So he said, quote, there's a 10% chance AI will kill 50% of humanity in the next 20 years. Wait, that was, that's Paul Tudor Jones. Elon Musk also said this. In fact, he said it before. That's the opening clip. And so there's a bit of an apocalyptic sense here. People are worried that AI is going to have the ability to do some very terrible things. And what are those things? Well, godlike AI would resemble something like we've all seen from the movie Terminator. We're all worried that it could possibly take control of our systems, get some kind of an idea that the Earth would be a better place without humanity, and then it takes on. I mean, it's basically the entire precipice or premise of the Terminator movies. Some of my favorites, I might add. So when you're stacking up food and you're thinking of all the usual suspects that make you want to go out and buy things besides just regular old inflation or potential for war, maybe conflict in Asia with China, or maybe just India and Pakistan chucking a few missiles that are nuclear tipped. All of those things are always in the back of our minds, and we all prep. I mean, honestly, folks, if you're prepping food and everything, it's not because you're worried about those kind of huge cataclysmic things. It's like what happened with Hurricane Helene. It's like what happened a couple weeks ago when some really terrible storms came through and people were without power for about a week. You want things like a generator and all that so you can turn on your power and keep your food good. We've got 3 generators for just such a reason. We've got gas stored. We've got all kinds of things like that. But what would it look like if we had some form of a cataclysmic future that was run by, an AI type super system that got into our critical systems, took over, and then just managed to push us out? What would things look like? Would humanity be able to sustain and find a way, or would it resemble something like the Terminator movies? These are all big questions, and now larger voices are coming out and saying that this is all really a problem that nobody really understands. We don't really understand the way that AI is going to evolve. There's a video going around right now. It happened about 4 or 5 days ago, but some Chinese people are working on a robot, a humanoid, and they program this thing, and it just starts to wake up and start attacking them. I mean, like wildly. It literally looks like a Terminator movie. How did that happen? And how is all this happening? And how would we ever be able to stop it? That's the big question. Will we ever be able to end some kind of an onslaught from an AI type force? Well, I think your prepping just took a new turn, and I think you need to be thinking about such things that you would be able to handle what it would like to handle, to stop, or at least survive, in some kind of an artificial intelligence apocalypse. It would be bad enough if it was something like the movie Blade Runner, where they wiped out all of our data. But imagine something worse. All I know is that prepping always has excellent reasons, whether it's as base level as inflation or as apocalyptic as AI. Friends, if you like what we're doing here, hit the buttons and stuff, and we would love to see you on the next one. God bless. PrepperNow out. We'll see you on tonight on the live stream.
A chance that AI will kill 50% of humanity in the next 20 years. Agree or disagree? So, I'd say the vast majority of the room moved to the disagree side. I had just heard Joe Rogan and Elon Musk 2 months ago, where Elon Musk said, there's only a 20% chance that AI can annihilate humanity. Now I know why he wants to go to Mars.